Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today I'm going to show you how to change a fuel filter in your vehicle. Now after watching this video, you're going to know how to change your fuel filter because I'm doing 3 different fuel filter changes. The first fuel filter change will be on this 94 Nissan Quest, and with this fuel filter, it has hoses that go onto the ends and clamp on, so that's one style. And then the next fuel filter that I'm changing is the Ford style fuel filter that you need a quick disconnect tool. And the final style fuel filter that I'm going to show you is the GM style that uses a wrench. So those are the 3 main styles, those are the 3 most common styles. And I'm going to quickly go through all 3 so you know exactly what to do. So real quick, the common question is, when should you change your fuel filter? The easy answer to that is check your owner's manual and look in the back and see what service interval is recommended for your specific vehicle, because it does vary. Typically, it's between 30 and 50,000 miles, or once every 5 years or so. Now, if your vehicle is difficult to start, it's idling rough or it stalls, you experience sluggish acceleration, you experience decreased fuel economy, if you think you got a bad tank of gas, or if you use one of these fuel system additives that are supposed to clean out the fuel system, I would consider changing the fuel filter. A fuel filter is your last defense before the fuel hits your fuel injectors. So any dirt or debris you're really hoping gets caught in here so it doesn't get caught in your expensive fuel injectors. Fuel injectors have really small holes which spray the fuel and atomizes it really well to a fine mist. And if that gets clogged up, you're going to get poor fuel economy and poor performance. You'll lose horsepower, and that's never good. So a cheap $5 to $10 filter could protect your $60 injector. So it's worth it to change these things out. So let's start off with this Nissan Quest, which is the first style fuel filter I'm going to show you. With this fuel filter, the rubber fuel lines attach directly to the nipples here on the fuel filter, and then they get hose clamped on. And the first thing, always wear your safety goggles because if fuel splashes into your eyes, that's never good. The tools to do this job are really simple. Since we're going to be disconnecting rubber fuel lines, we want to use some type of hook to get behind the fuel lines and pry them loose. You're going to need a flat head and a Phillips head screwdriver, and you might need a pliers to help wiggle the fuel lines to get them off of the old fuel filter. So let's begin. For most fuel filters, you just follow the gas lines that come out of the gas tank and go to the engine. Somewhere between the gas tank and the engine will be the fuel filter. Many times it's underneath the vehicle. In this case, it's underneath the hood, which makes your life a lot easier. So the fuel lines run on the driver's side, and if you look right there, you can see the canister for the fuel filter. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over to your fuse box, or in this case we have a relay box. You look here and you find the fuel pump relay or the fuel pump fuse. If you don't know where it is, check your owner's manual. In this case it's this green one right here, and we're going to just pull this right out, and now we're going to go start the car, or try to start the car. It probably won't start because there won't be fuel pressure, but the fuel injectors will be pulsing and that'll remove the fuel pressure. You're going to do this process on all vehicles. With the fuel pump fuse or fuel pump relay disconnected, go and try to start the vehicle. Probably won't start. Just let it crank for a couple seconds. Good. Done. Fuel pressure is relieved. Now let's go and take this off. Now this is really easy to do. I'm going to give you some quick tips on removing rubber hoses that, well, have never been removed since 1994. First step, get your Phillips head screwdriver and loosen up the hose clamp. Make sure you loosen it up all the way so it slides over this little hump right here and out of the way. And by hump I mean the fuel filter has this little nipple here that prevents the hose from sliding off. Make sure you get that hose clamp over that so you can pop the hose off. The next step that really helps is get a dental pick like this, a curved one. This helps with all types of hose removal. If you're trying to get a vacuum hose off, if you're trying to get a coolant hose off, all you do is make sure you don't damage the hose. Just sneak this under here just like that. And the whole point here is we're separating the rubber surface of the hose and the metal surface of the fuel filter. Once we do that, we'll do one more thing. What you want to do is you want to grab the hose and grab the fuel filter so the fuel filter doesn't spin, and you're going to twist the hose on the top. You're going to just twist it around so it spins completely. You see how the hose is twisted? Now twist it back and start pulling off. As you're twisting, be prepared, fuel is probably going to come out of here, so you can get a paper towel, put it down. It shouldn't be that much fuel. Make sure that the fuel filter is facing upright, and make sure that the fuel line, once it gets off, you face it upright to prevent fuel from getting everywhere. But twist and pull. Okay, that wasn't messy at all. Good. Now tuck that fuel line somewhere. Another top tip is these caps that come with the new fuel filter. Take one off and push it down onto the old fuel filter. Now this is capped off because this is filled with fuel, so you don't want it leaking out. It'll also create a suction for when you're trying to get the bottom hose off, so that doesn't leak all over the place either. So let's pull this out. Now we're gonna do the same exact thing to this hose clamp down here. Once we get this hose clamp off, slide it all the way off, get your dental pick, loosen up the hose, and now this hose isn't twisting by hand, so I'm going to show you a little trick. What you do is you use a pliers, and you grab the hose around the nipple with the pliers, and you squeeze, and you twist either the pliers, or you could twist the filter in this case. And once you do that, it should come right off. You could even use the pliers to help you remove the hose. Now as you remove this, you can see the bottom cap is on there, so fuel is not coming out. But this thing is filled with fuel. It's pretty heavy, so you want to make sure you keep this spout facing upwards when you're pulling it out. Okay, so that's the old fuel filter. You could store it right in the box so it doesn't tilt over. Now we're going to get our new fuel filter, and we want to orient this in the same direction as the old one. You can see here it says flow, so we want the flow to go from the gas tank through this out into the engine. So we want this to face this way. So the connection right here is this hose right here, and this is going into the engine. Flow is pretty important, so make sure you have it going the correct direction. Now installation is the reverse of removal. Slide the bottom hose all the way over the fuel filter nipple. Do the same with the hose clamp, and then tighten down the hose clamp so it's snug. Now we could clip this back in. Do the same for the top. Make sure you push that hose all the way down. Then push the hose clamp over the nipple. Tighten the hose clamp. Make sure you snug that up nice and tight, and good. We are done. Before you close the hood, make sure you put the fuse or relay back in, whatever you took out, for the fuel pump. Close that up. And we're not gonna close the hood because we wanna check for leaks. So grab your key, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna put the key in the ignition, and you're gonna turn it to the run position. You're gonna shut it. Run position, and shut it. Do it one more time. And what this is doing, this is making the fuel pump force fuel into that new fuel filter. Now your car might not start up right away. You might have to give it a few cranks, we'll see. Almost. Okay, good. And now you're just checking for any leaks. I do not see any leaks up here. You can move the hose around a little bit, make sure it's good. And then there's nothing dripping down here. So that's how you change the fuel filter, where the rubber hose and hose clamp directly connects to the fuel filter. And that's all it takes to replace a fuel filter. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed, remember to hit that subscribe button. I have 2 other videos on fuel filter replacement. One is how to replace a Ford style fuel filter with a quick disconnect, and the other is how to replace a GM style fuel filter that uses flare nuts. To get to those videos, you could click on the screen, or you could find the links to those videos in the description below, along with the links to any products or tools I used in this video. I also have a really cool video of what a fuel filter looks like after 300,000 miles. The van went 300,000 miles on a single fuel filter, and I took apart the fuel filter to see what the inside looks like.